Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire on my self-imposed challenge of Fear of Walking, where basically the goal is to try to beat the game not using any professional troops that don't have some sort of motorized transport. Even if that motorized transport, in the case of the walkers, walks, they gotta have an engine of some sort. We're picking up where we left off last time, which was the bottom round of 112. We have 7 decisions awaiting us. No, we lost worker rights. Probably from government shrinking too much. We got the recon plane done. Air Council's fine. Air Force Research can favor that, yeah. We're gonna do a light aircraft. Find it there. Design 1. Build up on the Jaeger.
Yes, sir.
Share the research. Or get one-off influx of PP. We'll share the research.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna risk the unrest here just for the merit. Success, so it wasn't as bad as it could be.
Aye, aye, sir.
Success. Zone upgrade, yes. Okay, before I forget. You, move that 1 hex. You, move towards the road. I wasn't able to get a hold of that hex, so as a side effect, I'm able to retreat if I attack them. Don't want them to do that, so I'm not going to attack them. Okay, that's going to be the bottom here. Militia walking up the road. I don't suppose we have the strategic capacity to move these guys? Oh, I do. Good to... Oh, had the strategic capacity to move a couple of them. Okay. Whoops. Right click, not left click. Left click to select, right click to move. Okay. So these guys are coming down to deal with the arachnids. Waiting for the heavy tanks to roll up, because they're heavy tanks, they take their sweet time. These guys do count as infantry, I believe, yeah. So they're in low mountains, we could attack them, but that would just push them to the high mountains, which we don't really want. At least until we can free up the walkers to come after them. And that's not necessarily going to take very long. We're just going to clear there, walk back. So you're done. Same there. We don't really want to attack you until we get start coming behind you. Okay, that guy's encircled. Do any of these guys have enough action points to actually attack? No. Yeah, I'm probably pissing off the other rotors here, doing that little land grab, but otherwise I think this is fine. pave over some of that road, make it a little more effective. Those guys are fine in their positions. We moved all this guy over here. Yeah. Down the southwest. Okay. The rail asset is done. I think it is actually going to be the next turn when we finally get the action points to move the guys over there.
Copy that.
In the meantime, expand that recycling facility. That one's actually close enough to done that we won't bother expanding it. Oh, commerce apparently was high at some point, so we've got a private investment up there. Get 600 something credits. Construction, everything we had going, completed. Airbase has got one more turn on it. Yeah, we're definitely seeing our populations growing relative to everyone else, and that's probably the effect of the cloning facility going over in overdrive. Yeah, we'll see if we can clear out these two guys on the next turn. The walker can get to that hex, then this guy won't be able to get away, and we'll get him that way. The tanks will just be able to corner the motorcycle at some point, unless he goes running off north into that guy's territory, in which case we get more territory. So that works for me. Probably gonna put the light tanks here. This getting up to the level link here is not super critical. So the slightly out of date light tanks will probably be ideal for that. Well, once we got the logistics here, we might try to form up a proper modern tank unit for attacking here. And then obviously the mechanized to hold the city, plus to attack, and then probably just do motorized between the two bits of mechanized. Yeah. And all that's for a future war that isn't happening till we're done with the Arachnids, so we got stuff to do. Got plenty of money, got plenty of political power. Do you want to splurge on the political power? Yeah, we'll splurge, get some more free folk.
Copy that.
2,000 more in the capital. You're almost there. 40,000 more and we'll have a level 7 capital. At which point I might start drafting them more aggressively. That'll slow down our population growth, but it will give me more troops to do all the line forming that I want to do. Oh, suppose now that I've got that rail station there, I should put an airfield there as well. I'll take a couple turns to level up to level 4. Seeing the Arachnids move around a bit. And the motorcycle attempts to escape farther into vaguely friendly territory. We killed 400 infantry, have 4 decisions winning us on round 113. We've got our light fighter aircraft. Let's go ahead and make a blueprint quickly for the medium aircraft. It's medium 1 engine, new blueprint. These tend to be my fighter bombers, is how I build them. So again, we got guns, we got bombs. Yeah, I tend to run these as fighter bombers, so we're gonna run bombs. We were running heavy turbojet on the previous one with like medium wings. How much fuel do we need to get max range? The super engine, super bigger rockets playing into effect? Maybe. Well, I can't get bigger engines. That's for sure. So we're gonna play around a little bit with fuel. No, looks like the best we're gonna do is 20 hex range on these at the moment. Oh, without dropping the munitions, but these are my fighter bombers. I like the bigger rockets on them. So we're just gonna have to accept they don't have quite the range of my fighters. Oops, that makes very heavy. There we go. Alright, there's 20 hexes. That's what we're gonna run. That's what we're gonna develop. Not gonna grab a Foreign Affairs Council yet.
Roger that.
And then medium aircraft. One engine, not two engine. The two engine one I might actually run for strategic bomb or for precision bombing. Build up on the Trailblazer.
Yes,
There
sir.
we go.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, so as I can do, let's do a blueprint for the two engine one. So technically, I think this is gonna be like a tactical bomber. It's gonna run, let's say, heavy turbojet. We're gonna get it up. We're gonna precision bomb it up. It's gonna need like a bunch of fuel tanks, some wings. Okay, my precision bomber apparently has longer range than my fighter bomber, but that's probably fine. Yeah, and this has got a bunch of precision bombs that have heavy rockets. It's also be better at blowing up the infantry rather than tanks. It's got a big enough bomb payload; it should be pretty devastating to the tanks. But unlike the fighter bombers, it doesn't have the rockets, which are better against aircraft. Now we'll develop that next.
Copy that.
Okay. Grab the hex, grab the hex. Getting the blue supply. Yeah, maybe not my optimal hex positioning, but better than nothing. Across the road there, across the lava river there. We're going to work down towards crossing over here as well. before I forget. Walkers. Over here. You got one more hex you can grab. You can just start coming back. You've got the infantry off. I suppose you've got them in the mountains anyway, so we just have the walkers quickly shoot at the infantry. And they do that perfectly fine.
Move it now.
Oh, we lost one of the tanks.
All clear, sir.
One of the old light tanks finally bit it. Well, they have served us well. And at this point, everything just pulls out. Because we're done down here. Yep, we're done down there. Everything just pull out as quickly as you can. Actually, no, we probably want you there. I'll put the other 24 on the 8, and that'll be good. And then that rail asset's in and working.
Roger that.
Airbase. And yeah, with the rail connection, maybe it's not all the way in. Can we see the now fairly cheap rail points? Okay, so it was active this turn. It just doesn't apply to the rail network yet, so we'll see that next turn. Next turn we should be able to start building guys pretty willy-nilly on the rail line here. I've maybe been saying that for a couple turns, maybe I'm just getting confused. Construction's good. Don't have any air bridges. I think I need to develop the nuclear power plants before we can find radioactive deposits. That's why we don't have any. Victory-wise, 43% of the population, 34% of the planet, so we're just coming up short of 40% of the victory points. Get to around 50, we win. We're done down there.
Yes, sir. We're going in. Mission completed.
So I think the two of them are probably going to be good enough for down there. The rest of you then can push north. Okay, went ahead and basically seized that road, which is nice. And pave it up just to make it better. At least for our purposes, the voters might prefer it being unpaved, but you know, they don't control it anymore, so they don't get to say anything about it. Okay, so we have encircled you, so if I could bring enough firepower to destroy you, I should try.
Going in.
Is that gonna work?
Mission
Yes,
successful.
at the cost of one transport. You're done, you're done, you're done. Do the movements here. have to worry about static guys because you don't want to push them back into the high mountains until we got the walkers ready. Yeah, I think that's working out. Got one more hex here. Focus on the right spot. Got one more hex here we can claim. But we're basically done there as well. And then at that point, it's just arachnids. Arachnids and more arachnids. 1 arachnid, 2 arachnid, 3 arachnid. I hope our guys don't have a fear of spiders. And maybe if they don't have a fear of spiders, they're going to end up with a fear of spiders, to be fair. Org-wise, Air Force is working the VTOL. Applied. Yeah, okay, so it's time to call you up. What do I want to work on? Good conventional guns. Yeah, we're going to conventional guns. So at this point, we're probably at a good place to improve the infantry when we're done with the aircraft. Models, how's the infantry looking? 54% field testing. So the field testing doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to upgrade them to battle dress. So I suppose we could potentially delay for heavy, but we haven't discovered heavy, so we're not going to worry too much about it. We'll probably do battle dress as soon as we're done with the 2 aircraft. So let's cycle the turn, see if we get one of those aircraft done. Not seeing anything worrisome or interesting too much on the major turns here. Oh, we're seeing the arachnids having a little bit of fun at our expense. I don't think that completely wrecked our logistics, but it wasn't good for the logistics anyway. And it's back to us, so we'll have to see how bad that damage was. Vessel League, round 114. We have 4 decisions. Trailblazer finished. Discovered liquid armor, which I'm less interested in. Militia project I'm less interested in. Medium, 200 aircraft. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Giving it some of the demands. Giving it some of the demands. Sure.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we share a border. So I'm not planning on attacking them anytime soon if I physically can't get to them to attack them. Actually, I suppose these guys would be perfect for the gap over here, so we might send them over there instead. grab the Hex. It's going to be in low supply. We're going to move him back to blue, and then we're going to move him back to green, and then he'll be where he needs to be. You're probably too heavy to strategic move from there. Oh, you're not. Okay, so we can go ahead and just pretty much push you most of the way out to where we want you via the good old rail line. And there we go. So the rail is now working. I think in here we're going to want siege. So we'll go say raise a formation of siege. And then above it we probably want some MG defending the city. Okay, we have enough logistics with the rail to deploy one armored mechanized unit per turn, not multiple. Good to remember. Okay, push you back close to the road so that you actually have your vehicles. Okay, so it didn't actually take the road, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, got uncomfortably close to taking the road, which is maybe not ideal. Oops. Oh, I'm not at war with them yet. Okay. Like, why is it bringing up a war declaration? Because you're not at war with them yet. It's not going to be long before they declare on you, but not technically at a state of war. Unlike I am with the Arachnids. The Arachnids we're at war with.
Move it now! Mission accomplished.
Oh, I withdrew back into the mountains, which is not necessarily good for me.
Okie dokie.
Try encircling that one. Maybe not the optimal play, but it's the play we're going to go for. Really don't want the HQs being attacked. But we got the lava over here to protect them, so not the perfect deployment for them, but not the worst deployment for them. Okay, I'm trying to grab what's left down there, so I think they're going to be enough. We'll see if these guys declare on us soon. I could always declare on them, that's not the end of the world if I did it either, but... Got colonists to deploy, we'll go ahead and deploy them here.
Copy that.
I should at some point reevaluate how the action points are looking. Yeah, we are approaching the point where we're going to want one over here. And honestly, I probably want one in the town, or city over here as well. Yeah. We're at war on the Arachnid sides. The Arachnid side's going to get prioritized.
Roger that. Roger that.
There we go. So next turn that should be done, and then we can turn that into a zone, and then we can level the zone up or then the zone will provide local supply. So that should be good. Got enough money. All the resources coming in, so we're not short on anything. Do I have an unemployed person to become the new leader of the new unit? Yes. He's not very good, but that tends to be how I handle my leaders. I'll grab a military leader, because I don't necessarily want to put a Cap 1 in charge of my artillery. It's going to be forming the front line there. Grab a military guy. Here we go. Oh, we'll really put the Cap 1 guy on the heavy MG holding the line up next to the city. Yeah. Okay, any other stuff I want to do? Political power-wise. Can go ahead and let's attract some free folk.
Copy that.
2,700 free folk. Because we're slowly but steadily trying to get that population up to level 7. So I think like large metropolis or something like that. Yep. Second my turn. Again, not necessarily expecting anything particularly interesting to happen over the end turn, except for a little bit of marauder attacks and maybe some counterattacks from the arachnids. We're definitely seeing the arachnids start to mass on the border. Yeah, whether that's because we're just pushing into their territory more or whether or not they're actually responding is a different question. They attacked us, we held, that's good. Kill 200 infantry. Apparently didn't get attacked by the arachnids that turn. Around 115 coming up, 6 decisions. There's our new aircraft. And with that, I think it is time. Well, unless I want to develop a strategic bomber. That would be like a 2-engine heavy. No. Let's go ahead and improve on the infantry. Yeah, let's improve on the infantry. So, infantry, build upon Trooper 3. Old ones, we're using the Gauss rifles. We're going to use the same thing. The new ones are going to be a little bit better because we've got better small arms tech since then. These are also going to be our elite troops. They're going to be going around in the battle grass. Get my full support to deal with that problem. Yes, you have my full support to deal with that problem. That was a critical failure even with my full support. Oof.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cap 2. Well, I tried.
Affirmative.
Okay, so new zone.
Roger that.
Zone borders. Drop in 3,000 colonists.
Roger that.
Okay, we control that hex, so these guys should be able to just drive that guy out.
Going in. Mission
There we go.
successful.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to bring walkers in here to deal with this mountain range.
Mission accomplished.
Bringing the armor. Okay.
Mission accomplished.
And then that means these guys encircled in the middle here are doomed. Took some losses doing it, but that is acceptable. Okay, so that's, again, that's the high mountain. We're gonna have to hope that the high guys in the high mountain can be dealt with the foot infantry and the walkers. We have more walkers slowly filtering into the area. Good thing that the volcanoes are on low mountain areas, so we do have a bit that we sort of cut off here. And in fact, that probably means that's a good place to run a road through. To support the offensive. Okay, almost got everything down there. Another walker walking north. We're not at war with these guys, though I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep that way. And then we're moving on the arachnids there. Southwest. These guys we're going to push actually over into this pocket over here. Definitely don't think I need them up by the arachnids at this point. In fact, we may pull the troops back from the arachnids over to here when we're done with the arachnids. Do I have you attach the tanks? Yeah, I have you attach the tanks. Okay. Can I strategically move the tank or the walkers here? No. I can move the tanks, but the tanks drive quickly enough under their own power. And the tanks, honestly, I'm going to run over to here, right? So we're just going to have a short, dense bit of tanks here for the push drive on the lava lake. Okay. Before I forget, I am going to want to raise some Air Force. Recon, spotter, raise force, fighter, Jaeger, raise force, fighter, bomber, trailblazer, raise force, tactical bomber. I think it's Moonrise. Trailblazer is the one we actually upgraded into the fighters. No, fighter bombers. Close enough. But yeah, that's going to be the air complement to that airfield. This airfield's probably not done. Probably, yeah. Well, the first tier of it's done.
Roger
Continue
that.
to upgrade it, please. And then we will raise some air here. Assuming we can field air here. Probably only field the recon here. Spotter 2. So I suspect the light probably needs 2. Minimum airbase 2. Yep. So we need to upgrade the airbase before we can get bigger fighters there. Oh, we weren't able to shovel the colonists over here. That's what happened. I'm like, why do I still have like 200 random colonists? Because you weren't able to throw 3,000 colonists all the way out there.
Copy that.
That'll get better in future turns, but we don't need to send them in future turns right away. So, I'm gonna grow here. Could probably grab more from there, but we don't need to. Same there. We're shrinking you, but that's fine. Not oppressively shrinking you. And the capital growing. Okay. Just labeling guys out of the southwest, because we're done there. Everyone in the north and east are working well, I think. So we got 1 thing of rotors, we got 3 things of arachnids to take down. And we'll see how close we're to winning once we're done with taking all those arachnids down. At the moment, we're up to 40% victory score, so we've only got 10% more to go. I don't... If you're really good at math, you could actually probably do the math and figure out how much the arachnids own at this point, but I'm not going to immediately do the math there, and I don't think there's enough just the arachnids without doing the math. Maybe I'm wrong, and the math says yes, you can do it with just the arachnids. Mechanized MG. Yeah, we can upgrade to that. That'll form that line, and then we'll get another one for that side. Maybe another one for... Or actually, I might go motorized for that side. Start to see. But yeah, we're starting to fill up the line here on Black Island. Once we got most of the line done, I might just do a loose picket up here. Again, not too worried about them trying to take the desert. And we're done with the arachnids, we'll probably start a war with them. And that'll probably be the last war in this game. Construction's going well. Mining. Oh, we got 4,000 in the small mines, so that should be fine. Cycle the turn. So I think this upcoming turn will be the last turn of the stream. So we'll see where we are at the end of that turn. I think things are going well. Progress is being made. To be fair, a lot of the progress is being limited by the difficult realities of logistics, and the difficult realities of motorized and mechanized units in mountains. At some point, I'm probably going to have to turn up the recruiting as well. Been mostly being able to meet the recruitment with what we've got, but it's going to become harder and harder to do. There we go. Decile League round 116. We have 12 decisions. It's a lot of decisions. New tech decision, new model decision, new tech decision. Yep, so we're gonna pick 3 of those decisions. We like fists, so we're gonna punish the leader. That's... yeah, that's fine. We'll go ahead and confirm here.
Roger that.
That's fine.
Affirmative.
It's tempting to go hydroponics, but we really don't need that right now. I think I'm gonna go nuclear plant. That might show me where radioactives are, in case we want to start mining radioactives.
Copy that.
It's also a requirement for all the big end-of-game bombs. Gas-powered. No. Oh, that's a good question. What do I want in the military techs? I don't really want jetpacks. Now, if we want to get to early orbital, that might be what we end up doing. Because I'd argue the jetpack infantry is foot infantry, so they're forbidden. Could do robotic soldier, could do liquid armor. Did not the liquid armor my vehicles, but that's me being weird. Could do extreme vehicles. Maybe that'll give me a new run on engines or something. Because I'm feeling like some of my vehicles are under-engined for whatever reason. Ultra capacitor is just higher power bank quality, which I don't really care about. Could do the camo. And trying to get down into these tanks. Yeah, I'm thinking... oh, well, we don't have radiation filters. Just really pick up radiation filters. It'll be a quick tech. Okay, well, much like we just did Battle Dress Infantry, we'll do Battle Dress MGs.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Aye, aye, sir. Copy that.
And then we can appoint a governor. Cap 1's pretty bad for a governor, though this is a pretty unimportant government seat, so if that was the best I'm going to get, then I'd be fine with it. Grab a talent, see if we get a decent talent. So that was the old Cap 1. The new guy is Cap 3. Yeah, decent talent.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll give you the job of being a commander.
Copy that.
And then I'm thinking we're going to want a city here
Yes, sir.
for logistical reasons.
Yes, sir.
Actually.
Yes, sir. We're going in.
These are free folks, so I can attack them for free.
Mission
Well, without
complete.
starting a war. And okay, they retreated into the hill, but that's fine for the moment. Mechanized, keep pushing. Maybe not ideal that we're keeping them kind of bottled up in the mountain where we're not particularly good at fighting them, but That is where we got the bottlenecked, or bottlenecked up into, so... Oh, there's the queen. Found the queen. Okay, continuing pressuring them. So we'll kill the queen, and then we'll try to clear out the, effectively the drones. I free up the militia? Probably. Strategic move. Close enough. Can walk the last couple feet. Out of his own volition. Tank. More car. Tank. Tank. Walker. Then suppose I'm going to do some strategic move on the tanks. Or on the walker. Yeah. Get one. Good, decent, close. It's probably the only one we're going to be able to move. The two, yeah. Oops. I had someone starve there because I left him in the bad supply too long. Whoops, a daisy. Okay. We should have the supply to do one more brigade. Do another mechanized MG. Again in there, and then we'll probably do light north of the city for that bulge. And then we'll do sort of a lighter picket of motorized up there. Now, we're going to need new additional leaders, so we're going to grab a military and a military. I'm going to start to run low on manpower. I might want to contemplate raising that manpower recruitment rate. Just slightly. So let's call you up.
Copy that.
Let's up you to 1,000.
Copy that.
And we'll do the same over in the west.
Standing by.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie.
So that should hopefully provide me... Well, that's not going to be enough necessarily to keep up that recruitment speed. That'll provide me like a brigade every 3 turns? You get a slight refund on the manpower going into vehicles like bolter buses. Yeah, you get a slight refund on the bolter buses and on the trucks. You're not paying the full 100 per. but you need it up front. So the sort of thing where it's okay. It's going to take. You're gonna like you need like 4 turns with a manpower, but you only cost you like 3 turns with a manpower. Or in my case, it's going to be like 3 turns of manpower, but I'm gonna need 4 in the bank. But yeah, so turning that up because then we can recruit a little bit faster. And we're definitely going to want to recruit because we're going to try at least to loose picket up here, tight picket from here to here. We'll want to run like a loose... Well, probably run around a picket over here if I'm not going to just abandon this area. Now, granted, that doesn't need to be done until we're done up here with the arachnids, so... We turned it up a little bit, doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be turned to 11. So I think we moved all the troops for the turn. Yeah, moved all the troops for the turn. A couple hexes in there, but don't think there's anyone in those hexes. Got that one arachnid, which these walkers will probably be able to deal with. And then got to push the arachnids out of here, but we need to wait for the walkers to arrive for that. For finishing over here. We have cut the mountain range at this point. So the guys that are going to be in the mountain over here are going to be stuck. On the other hand, we don't have really good troops to go in necessarily to deal with them right away, so they're just going to be stuck there. So we push farther east. The guys out in the open are pretty screwed. There are guys out in the open. And the queen's screwed. The queen's... Okay, the queen's got some pretty nice stats, but the queen's not meant to move. And so it can't route. Right, so if it routes, it's dead. That's how that works. And there's no one over there to help it, so the queen's probably going to die. I think that might regress them by killing the queen, because they'll have reduced capacity to generate. You leave them alive long enough without a queen, they'll make a new queen, but from the gameplay reason, they don't spawn new units without the queen up. Queen is immobile, but really monstrously huge animal. As long as the arachnid territory has a queen in it, it will have a much higher rate of spawning new units. Yeah. So getting rid of that will significantly reduce their unit spawn. That's apparently their AT unit. This is their regular generic infantry. I think that's all we're really seeing. Oh, there's a champion. That's their version of walkers. Almost the size of queen, but dedicates itself to warfare instead. But on the other hand, it's just one very scary walker versus... Okay, my walkers are maybe not that scary, but you know, we have 5 of them. 5 of these guys are going to beat one of those guys. Let's just be fair. That's how that math works. So yeah, I think we're doing well. Victory-wise, granted, these are the beginning of turn numbers, not the end of turn numbers. They may have gone up slightly. We've taken a little bit more planet. The colonists don't count for population before we place them somewhere. They've been placed, so that the population's up a little bit higher. We're up to 45% population. And this is without taking any population for the last, like, 10 turns. We haven't had any new population centers added, besides what I've colonized in the last 15, at least. So, yeah, the cloning facilities are definitely doing work. So there's a decent possibility we might actually have 50% of the population without taking over any new population centers. Don't think... And that might be a dangerous proposition, but I don't think the arachnids have enough planet left. 20, 30, 40, 50... No, maybe. Maybe. It's going to be real close if they do. I think there's about 14% of the planet unaccounted for, which is exactly what we need to win. Right, so if I get the last 14%, I'm not going to, but let's say we did. And our population grew enough to get up to 50%. We could potentially win without fighting. I think what's going to end up happening is we're not going to quite get all the planet. Someone else is going to get some of it. And at which point it's going to look like, okay, to get the last little bit, we're going to have to fight someone. I was thinking of fighting Blackland. Granted, when I was thinking of fighting Blackland, Blackland was like second. Blackland's apparently not having the best of days. Or at least someone's having better days at their expense. So here's Blackland. Oh, Blackland's just not having a lot of planet. They got pretty good population, right? And they got pretty exposed population in our case. This is one of their major cities right here. So I'd really like to take that city. So yeah, I'm thinking we're going to finish off the Arachnids. That may or may not be in the next part. They're really the last non-aligned faction we have that's major to deal with is the three Arachnid factions. We're going to finish off the Arachnids. We're going to see how much planet we have left once that is done. But I suspect we're going to go after Blackland after that. I think when I decided we were going to go after Blackland, they were doing better. Yeah, probably doing better territorially. They were like third or something. We do have a land border with these guys. It's not a really good border to attack across, which is why I'm not thinking going for number 2. Number 3, we don't even have a land border with. I don't think we have a border with the number 6 either. Number 4, we do have a land border with, and there may be the other target we could go after. It'd be these guys over here. We'd have the difficulty if we'd be pushing through the desert. It's really the drawback here. There's a couple places like this dash we could probably do that could allow for some decent encirclement. We dash through the plain, cross there, get the city here, around the top, but they're a lot less vulnerable than in Blackland. And I think we'll be close enough when we just have to attack one person. So I think it'll just be Blackland. That's how we'll win the game. But that will be in a future stream. Cash flow wise, are we still kind of bleeding money? Apparently, the revenue has actually improved enough that we are making money turn over turn. So that is a good sign. Revenue is positive. No, that might be due to taxes, in the form of like sales tax. Right, we earned like, yeah, it's probably due to taxes. Probably not every turn we're earning profit. It depends upon how the sales tax works out for the turn. We've got 30% income tax, 25% sales tax apparently. And that's not quite enough, I think, every turn to cover it. But it was this turn, and it's been, I think recently it's been pretty decent. We got some, apparently these are fairly long running ones. I was thinking I'm going to fail the government, and to be fair, I probably am going to fail the government because the government's only 45. Getting it up another 22 points hasn't been agreeable. We might achieve the meritocracy, we might just fail both the words, which will lower our truthfulness rating. Make it a little bit hard to keep everyone happy. We've got some supply issues, but that's inevitable the way I play. Doing circlements and stuff like that. It's usually guys that are doing the circle and get supply issues. Trying to do merit, government, fist. Government's been having a bad day recently, apparently. Fist has been doing pretty decently, though we haven't had a lot of events related to fist. And merit's doing okay. Again, victory over you. We've been solidly in first for the entire stream, and we're getting closer and closer to victory. We're gonna we just at this point need to get a 50% victory score, which is an average of 50% of the population, 50% of the planet. You have a little bit extra population, a little bit lower planet, or vice versa, and it will work as well. I think our mining is going decently. That may be something we'd want to review at some point. Even on the planet like this, apparently metal is the thing we're struggling the most with, because it's the thing you spend on everything that's not pure not pure IP, pure industrial power. And in construction, we sort of slowed down on expanding that. No, and apparently we have a worker shortage issue here. Whoops. The airfield is taking more workers to build than I was assuming. Well, there's the solution to that. We're not fixing it this stream. The solution is put colonists here instead of in landing ruins northeast. As much as I want to get landing ruins northeast to level 3. Which, to be fair, isn't a priority. It's just something I'm going to do. So yeah, I think I've gone over everything. Profile-wise. My techs, I think, are coming along. I think we've got all the techs I need to win the game at this point. If we did go long enough, we could use some of the nuclear weapons. That would be another way to clinch the population. Instead of taking population, we could, you know, deny other people their population, and then we'd win that way. But yeah, I think for the moment, this is where we're going to go ahead and end the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, there is likely to be a part up tomorrow. I do record these in batches of 4, with a 4-day cycle between games, so I'll be back to playing this in 4 days. I should also be 2 days ahead, so it should be 6 parts. So the day this was recorded, when you're watching this on YouTube, it should have been recorded about 6 days ago. Which means the next part should already be recorded for you if you're watching on YouTube. So if you don't have the patience to wait for the next part to come up tomorrow, you can hop over to YouTube or hop over to Twitch and watch the old VOD. Assuming nothing has gone wrong and had to get delayed. If you're watching on Twitch, obviously this is where the stream ends, or is going to end. Tomorrow's stream is Grand Tactician: The Civil War is going to come back. We're going to continue with that game. The day after that will be The Long Dark. The day after that, I think, is going to be the complete return of Field Glory Empires. I think we're going to try to do a Sparta run, so we're going to try to start up a Sparta run that day. That is in replacement to Victoria 3. As Victoria 3 is almost done. I think we got like 2 or 3 parts left to go, recording-wise. I'll try to record that in a pop-up stream, so there'll be a random stream that will just pop up like midday Pacific time if I got some free time. And that'll record the last 2 to 3 parts of that. I think it'll probably be like 2 parts, and it depends on whether the after action report ends up in its own part or not, whether it ends up being 3. I definitely feel like that one's likely to get to a GDP point where it's the highest GDP I've gotten is China. Though at this point we have actually run out of people to play, so we'll see how that GDP goes up with no people to play. And then the 4th day, we'll be back to this Shadow Empire. Depending on how it goes, we might actually win in the next stream. We've just got 1, 2, 3 bunches of arachnids to deal with, 1 bunch of rotors, and that's it. Before we're going to pick a major to poke on, or to attack. And I think that major, we don't have to take much from that one major. I think it's just going to be minor, 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 minor. Take the 4 minors out, and it'll probably be an opening blitz on that major will be enough to win. We might not even take the city, for example. But yeah, I think that's the upcoming plan. So I hope you've all been enjoying. Just a reminder, I do record these live for a Twitch audience. If you're watching on Twitch, this is probably our last opportunity to get comments in for the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. I do try to respond to all the comments that actually look like real questions, and aren't spam or people trying to sell me stuff. So I have responded to most of the comments, and I hope you're all enjoying. If you have any questions about how the game mechanics work, feel free to ask me. It's something I should either know or should be able to figure out how to answer. And if you're watching the Twitch VOD after the fact, and want a comment responded to, Twitch is not necessarily so good for asynchronous comment response, so you can always hop over to the YouTube channel, which is willcole100, to leave your comments over there. And vice versa, if you're watching on YouTube and want to catch one of the later streams, when it's being streamed live, I do stream this to Twitch under the username willcole. So with that, I think that is pretty much all the announcements. So with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.